So, hello, Gus Harrower. How are you this morning?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me. I'm excited for this.
Thank you for inviting me in and letting me do the podcast.
It's my humble abode.
I thought we'd start off with the most important matter of business.
Hit me.
Have you heard the new Coldplay album? And if so, what do you think of it?
Oh, I actually don't think I've given it a full listen. I loved Orphans when that came out. Thought that was really cool. And Arabesque as well. I actually preferred Arabesque.
I preferred Arabesque.
I have watched their video live in Jordan, which they played the first half of the album. Was it Sunrise? Aye, Sunrise. And it was really cool.
Yeah, because they split it right down the middle, like 8 tracks. Where it's...
I need to listen to it, but actually I really liked watching it because I really like them. I think they're a great band. Chris Martin gets a lot of stick. I can understand why sometimes when you hear him in interviews and stuff, but
I quite like it. I think he's quite likable.
I think so. I think people used to say he was a bit of a dick. Apparently, everyone when he was sort of yellow and the yellow album and is it yellow parachutes.
First album's Parachute.
I don't think people liked him then.
Nah, I think people have.
They've warmed him.
Yeah, I mean, I think was it Matt Healy was speaking about him and he said he'd met him and said he was the nicest man
Wow,
that ever met.
He does sound lovely in interviews. He did an interview with BBC Radio 1 and he seemed really cool.
The Annie Mac one?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's filming himself.
Yeah, just on FaceTime. It was great.
He's very, very zen.
He is. I think that's why people can find him a bit wanky though sometimes.
Yeah, people probably aren't happy that
he's
at peace with himself. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not happy. That's probably true.
So, what have you been up to today? What's the average day in the life of Gus Harrower?
Well, today I've not done much. I saw Sigrid last night at the Usher Hall.
How was that?
Great, really good show, and I loved her support, Ida. And I'm going to go see them in King Tut's in February. They were amazing, actually. Like, I'd listened to them before. I thought, oh, they could be cool, but they were way better live.
What kind of stuff are they?
They reminded me of Oh Wonder. They do harmonies. It's 2 females, and they're doing really nice harmonies. And they had a drummer, and they were playing some tracks, but it was like keys and guitar and drums, basically. I don't know what I would compare it to. Just, they had a few songs which had big, loud endings and really dynamic. I loved that stuff. And it sounded great in Usher Hall. So I need to go see them at Tut's.
Usher Hall's a good venue.
So good, yeah. And they get some really good gigs.
I mean, they had Vampire Weekend. There was a few
days ago, right?
Yeah.
Or was it weeks?
I think it's maybe about a couple of weeks back. Because I saw Feet at Mash House that night. And then when I was walking home, past Usher Hall, and everyone was piling out from it.
Yeah, that would have been a cool show.
Yeah, I think they played for like 2.5 hours as well.
Really? Jeez, oh.
Yeah.
I like their album. Their album was good.
What else have you been listening to since 2019? Any others that stand out?
Noah Gunderson, his album.
Why does his name ring a bell? Where is he?
He is from, now I want to say Detroit. No, it's not Detroit. It's somewhere in America.
Yeah.
And he's great. His first stuff was quite country folkish. But this new album, it's so dark, and he's got a song in it called Robin Williams, and it's a brilliant album. I'm loving it. It's really good mix, and the songwriting is incredible as well. So he's probably been my favourite stuff, and I really like Haim's new tunes as well. Yeah. Now I'm in it, and
I mean, they're part of the new Vampire Weekend album as well, aren't they?
They're on that.
Well, is it one of them or all 3 of them were on?
I think maybe one of them.
Yeah.
That's a great. I'm excited for. I imagine they're releasing an album soon, so that'll be cool. What else has come out recently?
I'm trying to think. Well, Sam Fender's album dropped.
Oh, banging! Yeah.
Yeah. Seen him the other night. Mental.
I know that did look good. I saw somebody tweet that it was the best gig they'd ever seen. You didn't tweet it.
Nah, he's good, but he's got one. I think a lot of bands, when they have one album, it's not the same maybe as when they have 3 albums to make a set out of.
Yeah.
There's a few songs in there that I think I mean, I saw the 1975 in January. I remember saying after that, another album, and that'll be a proper insane set list. But it just feels like it needs a few more cut from it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Stronger tunes.
I felt like that about Sigrid last night.
Yeah.
I think she maybe played the whole album, and it's a really good album. Some amazing songs in it, but a couple points they sounded the same. Because they were album tracks, they weren't. Yeah. A few of them weren't singles.
I mean, you kind of want an album to have quite a cohesive sound, but it maybe doesn't translate quite as well to a live.
Yeah, or even if I don't know if she did play any sort of maybe new stuff, if she has any, which I imagine she does. But to chuck in maybe a couple of surprises is always nice. I like when bands do covers. Like Sam Fender, he did a.
He ended on Bruce Springsteen. That was
Did
his
he?
closing song, no encore, which I liked as well. I hate encores.
Yeah, that's
I'm sick
cool.
of them.
I saw John Mayer in London a few weeks ago, and he did. His set changes every night, and he's the kind of guy that's got so many albums he can put together a great set list. So his set's been changing every night just because they're so good. They're such a great band, and they must just know all the tunes. But that night when we saw him, it was the second night, and he'd played in London, and he did Springsteen a cover actually. He did I'm on Fire, which I never expected because he does a bunch of covers. But
I didn't think of Springsteen.
No, I didn't think of Springsteen one at all, especially that song. But his show was phenomenal, just like musicianship at its finest.
Yeah, you quite a big Springsteen fan at all?
Oh yeah, love Springsteen.
Covers.
Been listening to him a lot recently.
I've never really managed to I don't know why I've never managed to get into him.
You should watch this thing on Netflix.
Why has he got a Netflix?
Yeah,
doc?
it's called Springsteen on Broadway. He did a show on Broadway for.
Is that the one that came out in cinemas like a couple months back?
Oh no,
That was a Western one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's like Western Stars. I don't know what that is. I've not seen that. But this Broadway thing, he did a show on Broadway for months. I think he sold out like every night, in a small theatre, and he filmed it, put it on Netflix, and it's amazing. It's him and his guitar or piano, and he's just telling the stories of his music and his life, and it was so cool. It's so cool.
I do want to read his autobiography actually, because I've seen quite good reports about that.
So shame I can't read.
I was trying to think before it came out today, when was the last time I saw you? That's what I was trying to pinpoint.
Well, we bumped into each other in the street.
Oh yeah, so I bumped
because we live in the same neck of the woods.
Yeah, bumped into you then. But before
did the interview?
Was the interview before then? The interview was before then. But
Yeah.
Was that the last time before?
Yeah, it would have been. So that was what was it? May we had that interview.
Yeah, I think it was May. 'Cause it was just before I went back home for the summer. But I was thinking as well that I always seem to interview at periods of quite high political tension.
Yes.
Remember that last time was right
Oh
before
my God,
May
yeah,
left, and I
very
asked the
good
Prime
point.
Minister question. Now we've got a general election coming up. Are you quite politically aware, or do you tend to try and stay out of it?
No, I think I'm trying to become more politically aware. I think you have to be honest. It's quite important for youngsters to be nowadays, just because it's so important.
Yeah.
Like every vote counts.
Well, I've seen a thing the other day. It was like 2 million people have, or no, 3 million people, and 2 million other young people have registered to vote like in the last week or something.
I think you see Stormzy's post.
What, the one slagging off?
So he put a big post up.
Is it Michael Gove or Jacob Rees-Mogg?
No, he put a big post up on Instagram. And he was talking about he just registered to vote. He was saying that you need to count. Apparently, I don't know how true the stat was. After he posted that, I think I don't know where the figure came from, but like 47,000 people or something registered to vote after.
That's good.
Yeah, so
it's good that he's using his, obviously because he's using his influence for change for the.
I know it's quite tense, man. I was watching just when you came in. I was watching a video of Corbyn, and it is we're living in pretty crazy times, to be honest. Because we had, of course, the independence referendum, Brexit shite, and
probably another independence referendum.
Probably, yeah. It's a bit mental.
Yeah, I can't think of another generation that has had three massive kind of. I guess one of them's the same choice, but three massive choices of that kind of.
Yeah, they'll be teaching this stuff in schools, in like 50 years' time.
It's weird.
Looking back and going, what a shit show that was.
I mean, I was speaking to someone the other day on the phone, and we were kind of comparing how similar like the times we live in now are to like the 70s and 80s with Thatcher when she kind of came in, and it's quite depressing
Scary,
that we've kind of gone back to that.
And stuff that's happening in Hong Kong and things as well. That is terrifying.
So a guy on my uni course is from Hong Kong and was going out and rioting and stuff over there. I think.
Wow. Over there?
Yeah, I think so he lives here now, but then before he left, he was kind of, he was a bit
heavy.
Yeah.
You got any lighter topics?
Swap up then. Still lighter topic. Also, last time we spoke, you said how you were trying to write a bit more about home and friendship.
Yeah.
How have you kind of?
How is that going? I think it's going well actually. So for uni, I need to write. One of my final handings is basically 35 minutes of music. So I'm writing all the time at the moment, and the stuff I'm writing is very different to the stuff even the single I'm releasing tonight. It's even so different than that. It's a bit more country, very acousticy. But I think I am writing a bit more about home and friendship.
What's the one you've got coming out tonight?
It's called The Usual, and it is about friendship. and like parties. And
succeeded then.
yeah, hey, I've nailed it.
Are these ones that are coming out? Are they still part of like an upcoming EP, or are you just doing
I
singles?
don't know. I think probably just singles. To be honest, I had a grand idea to do an EP, but as usual, it's just sort of fallen down by the wayside.
It's difficult doing an EP now, though. Like you kind of have, even if you're doing an EP, you kind of have to release it track by track.
Yeah, or at least have 3 singles and then put another 2 on the EP. And the stuff I've been writing recently it just wouldn't fit with the songs either.
No,
like
they wouldn't like gel.
No, even the song tonight is like the usual. And for example, sitting beside When You Love Someone, like a Elton John inspired, but cheesy pop song, and the usual, which is a bit more, I dare to say it, alternative.
It's got a bit of the 1975 about it,
yeah,
vocal wise.
Totally, the vocals and the I try to put, and the drums sound quite muddier and darker as well. But I just think if I wanted to release a body of work, I want it to be, as you said, cohesive and
kind of. You need a bit to be a little bit eclectic as well as nice. You need those elements to kind of tie your sound together, but it's also fun to kind of experiment.
Yeah, totally. I think it's interesting. Like reading reviews of albums, it's kind of hard to tell what makes an album now. And does it have to be 12 songs or 10 songs that are of the same genre, so to speak? I like the idea that it could be 10 songs of just your work, a bunch of bait, and I write in all sort of different styles, and because I listen to that stuff, and I like to you regurgitate what you listen to, but then you often read that'll get slagged in a review or something if stuff comes out and it's like that song does not fit on the album, or it's interesting.
There's a knack to it, I think. It can work both ways. But if you look at someone, again, like I mentioned in 1975, they've made a career out of having, other than the first, actually, probably the third album they put out, like there's so many different genres they're kind of playing with on that, but at the same time they still have those elements that tie.
Was that the last one they released? Brief Inquiry?
Yeah, Brief Inquiry. Even the other two have got quite a lot of different kind of things on them.
Yeah,
first one maybe not so much, but second and third.
Second one was great.
The second one's probably the best one.
I really like that. And I think they're a great band. They get a lot of stick, but Matt Healy's they're doing something different, and I think
Jinky's maybe a bit like the Chris Martin thing though.
Probably.
That's why people seem to. He's quite fighting for the.
Yeah.
I think he's well intentioned, but he sometimes comes out with things in interviews.
I know. What was that thing? He got a bunch of stick at a festival. What did he say?
Oh, something about guitar bands, probably.
Yeah.
Guitar music is dead or something. Probably screamed it on stage at the crowd.
Yeah, I think so.
As he got out his guitar and then played sex for the crowd. The most guitar-driven song in the world.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right. Actually, there's a video of it on YouTube somewhere.
But yeah, well, you mentioned the last single, which was quite Elton John. Big Elton John fan, or
yeah, totally. I think I maybe said this in the interview which we did. I wrote that after I'd just done an ABBA tribute act and sort of put a band together.
I don't think you did speak about this before.
No. probably a conscious decision. It was part of Glasgow Uni. They put on some fun nights and we put together an ABBA tribute act band and basically played an hour worth of ABBA music. It was great fun. It's totally mental because everyone is hammered and everybody loves ABBA. Who doesn't love ABBA? Exactly. And we're doing it again actually in a few weeks at one of the other events. It's great fun, but it's so cheesy and I think and catchy, and I wanted to just write a song that you like kind of replicates that feeling. Yeah, it's quite piano driven as well. Piano driven, yeah. I mean, I think having that sort of bass line at the start, it's Waterloo inspired. It. I think it has to be piano. That chorus on the piano, it's just good fun. It's good fun. But then I think the stuff I'm doing more recently is nothing like that. Nah, well, I mean the one you just. I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll be out. But the one you just played me that's coming out tonight. Yes, at midnight. Yeah. Why did you put it out on a Wednesday? That's a bit different to what I don't know. I do. I know. I just want to try something different. I usually would have put it out on Friday. I guess no one else is putting out music on a Wednesday going into Thursday. Yeah, well, I thought if I can. I don't know if because everything's out on Friday. Yeah, it's a lot of music on a Friday, and which is great, which is really fun. But your stuff can kind of get lost in totally, man. I mean, I'm not even I can't compete with like the New Music Friday playlist or anything anyway. But it'd be nice if I could try and get in a day early. Yeah, and some people could hear it going into the weekend.
And then it sticks, and then they're listening to it.
Hopefully. Let's not speak too soon. Might be a massive flop.
Have you, speaking of, not a massive flop, but didn't do too well at the box office, have you seen Rocket Man coming back?
Yeah, I did.
What do you make of that?
I loved it.
So good.
I'm a big musical theatre fan, and I think that film nailed that vibe in essence. Because comparing it to, I think you can compare it to something like Bohemian Rhapsody, in the style that it's a biopic, and I much preferred Rocket Man.
I'm not a fan of Bohemian Rhapsody. I felt like Rocket Man took the idea of a musical and did something completely different. And not only that, the songs felt like they belonged in the story.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like they came out of nowhere. It felt very, although it was, over the top and stuff, it did still feel quite natural when the musical numbers came in.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's so
good.
fun. Like Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting when he's growing up. It's amazing. It's so, it's just, I loved it. And Taron Egerton, he was class.
He nailed that. He got
Totally,
that
man.
spot on.
Yeah, that was a good film. What else is coming out with? Was Harry Styles not up for Elvis, and he's not got it, did he?
They put like quite an unknown guy.
Yeah.
He was in. Did you see the new Tarantino film?
Yes, in that.
He played. When they go to the ranch.
Yeah.
He played like the big kind of buff guy that comes back on the horse to try and beat Brad Pitt up before he.
All right.
For his It's
and
that
he gets
guy who's
battered.
playing Elvis. No, he doesn't get battered. He's coming back on the horse to beat up Brad Pitt, and then when he pulls in,
Someone else gets battered.
He comes back to beat up Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Because Brad Pitt has beat someone else.
That's
up,
it.
And then Brad Pitt takes
Great film.
So he's that guy. Yeah. It's
Cool.
a very good film as well. But there's a Boy George one coming out as well.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Who's playing Boy George?
Don't think anyone's been cast yet. Who do you get to play Boy George?
That's cool.
Who could you get?
Scarlett Johansson.
She was getting in trouble for that again the other day, wasn't she? She's someone else like Matty Healy who just says stuff and just shouldn't do interviews.
I know, it's funny. I love all the memes on Twitter and stuff. And she's getting cast for every part under the sun.
She's up for an Oscar again though, she's not? Or
wow.
In the race for.
Didn't know
she's
that.
got a new film coming out, Marriage Story.
Cool.
One of my favourite films.
You're clued up on your films.
I do study film and TV.
That would make sense. You'd have to be by default.
So we were speaking about the other EP. We were
Yeah.
speaking about the hypothetical EP that is possibly.
Nah, I think I don't know.
It's no longer an EP. You recorded an EP when you were 15 though, which I wanted to ask about.
Oh yeah, my first one.
Writing and recording an EP at 15 that's quite a statement, being that young and putting something
Doesn't
out.
sound like it. That's why it's removed.
Is it? Oh no, is it off Spotify?
It's off Spotify enough. Just because I think I was really happy with the songs at the time, and I'd done it myself or recorded it myself, which you can really tell. I can't sort of leave it up there. I don't think it's fair to sort of what I'm doing now. I think it's just so because what I'm doing now is so different, and it's much simpler writing. I mean, it would be if I was 15, you know. It's like it's like the 4 first songs I ever wrote.
Yeah.
But it's on SoundCloud. I've left it up there for people to laugh at.
What is it? If you say it's like simpler songwriting, but what kind of style is it?
What kind of style is it? It's just pop. I mean, I think most of it is all on like acoustic guitars, and I don't think there's a single piano song on it. Oh no, there's one piano song. Just pop ballady things.
Yeah.
But one of the songs in it, which never. I mean, I just released the EP. I didn't release singles or anything from it. One of the songs in it is like second most highest earning songs on PRS. And I have no idea why, because it's rubbish, and I don't play it. I never play it live.
What's the deal with PRS at the moment? Because everyone seems to be giving it quite a lot of stick. From what, like, is it quite an outdated system? Or
I think it's great.
I've had a few musicians.
If you're a musician that's not sort of on it and like logging gigs, you are a fool, because it's the way you make money.
Yeah.
And it might not be amazing money, but it's like better than nothing. I love it. I think it's so good, and once you're signed up, really easy to use as well.
So what, you go on and log a gig and they give you cash back?
They'll give you the money depending on sort of size of the venue, how many people were there.
Where's that money coming from?
From licenses. So like venues will pay a license.
Actually, yeah.
And shops, anywhere that plays music, has to pay a PRS license.
And then it gets
divvied up. And it sort of depends. It's quite confusing. I think, if I'm right in thinking, it's basically a massive pot which kind of gets divvied up.
Depending on what kind of size of it's.
Depending on just what's happening, I think, in that year. So my statements say that my songs are played on like cruise ships, which isn't
really.
Well, isn't necessarily the case. I think sometimes it can be, but that's just because a percentage of royalties given out that year are from cruise ships. It's quite confusing, man. There'll be someone listening to this going, he's not got a fucking clue what he's talking about. And they would be right.
You know, a lot of your songs could be getting played on cruise ships. I was in Bilbao over in Spain.
Nice.
In summer for a music festival. We were where we were set up in the campsite was next to these two guys who we got chatting to from Gibraltar. And they asked, where are you from? And I'm from Scotland. So they said, we've got, we like Scottish music. Started playing stuff, the usual kind of Franz Ferdinand, Biffy.
Yeah.
And then they put on FOBs.
That's cool.
And played, I just found that insane that someone from Gibraltar is listening to a band from Glasgow.
That's amazing.
That are up, and I guess that's one of the wonders of Spotify, isn't it? They'll get a fair bit of kicking. Before Spotify, that could never have happened. Like, your music would have never gotten into the hands of an up-and-coming artist from someone
so easy
outside the globe
to do now. Things like, I found I got a lot of plays when I released a couple of singles a few years ago from what was the play? It's Discover Weekly or Discover Weekly.
You get on the,
Man, if you can get a song on that, it's great because it's so many people get it, and if it's a similar style, what they're doing is so good, but it's also really hard to sort of break because things like New Music Friday are great to get on.
But if you don't get on it,
and you think you need a bit of help to get on it as well. A lot of folks say you don't, but
I think it's kind of. I think when Spotify first started off, it maybe wasn't, but I feel like it is now starting to shift. The same way what radios used to be, where labels and stuff will get their bands on it.
Need a label, need a plugger, and those things cost money. And of course, if you're a small band, that's pretty hard.
It's kind of just brought back the importance of being signed, and that's still such a thing.
Yeah, and doesn't matter to a major or indie. I mean, indie labels are killing it at the moment, but it does help. I've been thinking about that a lot, like management and stuff. I'm not managed, but it would definitely help.
Yeah, I mean,
just for knowing people.
It's just about opening doors, isn't it?
Totally, man. Absolutely.
As they say, it's about who you know.
Who you know.
What you know.
Exactly.
It'll always be a business run on that. No matter,
no for sure. I mean, everyone's got to make money,
Yeah. So take it back to that EP you did when you were 15. Was that just in your bedroom?
Yeah. Just my bedroom.
Just to like Pro Tools or?
Man, I don't think I even knew what Pro Tools was then. It would have been. It was actually Reason.
Don't know what Reason.
Reason by Propellerhead, which is a really cool DAW, but I don't use it anymore. That was I think that was just the first DAW I learned on, so I used that, and now I'm on Logic.
So was Logic because obviously you were speaking earlier about how you demo stuff.
Yeah.
And you recorded the last one yourself.
Yeah.
How, so is that just Logic, you'd sit and do that in your bedroom again?
Yeah, same thing. And then I would maybe take stuff, if I wanted harmonies from a friend or something, I'd take my gear just to them. Because again, it's like your setup here, it's portable, and it's so handy.
It is nice having a portable
setup. It's brilliant. And if you get a good mic and a good preamp, you can...
You're sorted.
Yeah, you are really. Like all the vocals I did here, didn't do the drums and bass. Those were done in a wee studio down in Leith, Sonic Lodge, which is great. And it just makes it so much handier and cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know, if I was to do an album or something, I would love to get funding and go into a studio and do it, just to have that space and that sort of professionalism.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of need to build like Tom Maguire. They crowdfunded their album, so it's just about building that fan base with hard work, and then
you want people to
go in and do it,
hear it as well. That's obviously showing that people want to hear their album.
I mean, I think they actually, I don't want to speculate on how much they raised because I'll get it wrong, but that's a really well produced sounding act. The production on that album, there's so much stuff there that is unexpected and just works so well.
And they're killing
really
it.
Well done.
They're absolutely killing it.
Very good. I was very lucky to get him on the podcast and have a chat with him.
I'm going to listen to that straight after this podcast.
So when you obviously made that EP at 15, you then wanted to start studying popular music.
How
has that kind of shifted the way you look at music and interpret it?
Yeah, so I would have gone into uni 3 years after that EP, I think. And then in the meantime, I did another EP just before I went into uni. Is that the year? Yeah, just before I went into uni.
Is that the one with the artwork? So we're sitting in Gus's kitchen up on the wall. There's a lovely painting of the.
It's very vain. It's a great. I mean, I didn't.
It's a
do
nice
that.
piece
It's
of
lovely
art, to
though.
be fair. Yeah.
Freya Doran, very cool artist. And it's just I remember looking at it and, like, summed up the title track on the EP, just all the sort of looks like political unrest in the photo and just war, and it's just
Quite
like,
powerful, yeah.
yeah, it's totally
It
cool.
feels quite depressing, like something that has become more prominent in the couple of years since the EP came out as well.
Yeah,
that artwork.
I know. But
Let's not get political again.
I know, Christ, music. That's not what we're talking about. I loved that. I did that EP myself again, which it was way better than the first in production sense. But to be honest, I wish I'd gone to the studio because the songs, I really liked the songs, and I still think some of them are like the best ones I've written.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't afford it at the time. But yeah, it's so I did that EP, and then I went and studied popular music at Napier. I'm in my 4th year now. I've got a few months left, which has been great. I've really liked it. It's been a cool course. The lecturers are brilliant. Some really, really cool people on it as well. And get to work with them, it's just great. Like,
Is that where you've met quite a lot of your collaborators and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely. And a lot of, you get inspiration from your peers as well. Like, I'm doing composition, and I think I was in a class of, in first year I was in a class like 5, it was a tiny class, and now it's about 11 odd. When you sit around and play each other music and give feedback, it's just so collaborative and educational, but in a really positive sense. I love it. It's a great space to learn and work in. It doesn't work for everybody. You know, uni's not for everyone, and I didn't think it would be for me either, to be honest. Like, I'm not academic at all, but it's the meeting people and working with people. That's what I've found the course to be really good for.
Yeah, networking and that kind of.
Networking, I've got a bunch of gigs from it. I wouldn't be I'm in a wind band at the weekends, and I wouldn't be in that if I hadn't gone to uni, because that's where they came around to audition folk. And I've been doing that for like 2 years now, fully booked.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, like every Saturday, pretty much from March till October. It's great.
That must allow you just to refine skills and just
exactly,
sharp, yeah.
And it's great fun. You know, if it's a good win, if you get a good crowd.
And you get paid proper money for playing
it's
music.
good, yeah. I mean, for one night a week, it's nice. I mean, it's tough work because it's long hours and it's late.
How long are you typically going for when you play?
We'll go for 8 till midnight, which is okay. But I mean, if we're up in, we've been up to Mull and Wick. We had a great one in Mull. We just went up, leave at like 9, so it's a full day, full 2 days really. Went up there. It was in the village church. And the bar was basically like bought in, so it was just stuff from like Scotland, you know, cans of Tennent's and things, bottles of wine. And at the end of the night, it was a great fun night. We had a B&B down the road or whatever. Yeah. And at the end of the night, we asked the boy at the bar, just like, could we buy a sort of that, you know, whatever. I think they had 24-pack of Tennent's or whatever. And we just went back to the hotel and just like sat in the foyer and drank them. It was because I'm with some of the guests from the wedding, because they're all staying there. It's just lovely. That's like really fun.
Nice atmosphere.
Really nice atmosphere.
Kind of
and then the drive back is always it's always long, and you just want to get home and uncomfortable. But it's a really fun job, and it's a good way to make money playing music as well.
I do want to speak about the Scottish Singer Songwriter Award that you made it to the final for.
I did, yeah.
To start, what actually is that award to start off with? What's that competition or process? Or?
The BBC Radio Scotland announced it, I think in May or April. Unless Capaldi announced it. He said he was on his key sessions, he said this is happening.
So was this the first year of it?
First year, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully not the last as well, because it was great. It was a really, really good thing.
It looked like a packed out ceremony as well.
Oh, it's amazing, man. So yeah, I applied back in May, and I totally forgotten when I got the call in August to say I was in the top 10. And there was some really cool musicians in the top 10. All of them were brilliant, and a really eclectic mix as well. So different. There was like electronic music, rock, country, folk. It was just awesome. And then it was a public vote to the top 4, which I'm never a fan of public votes.
It becomes a popularity contest.
It does.
That's what I don't understand about the SAMAs, Scottish Music Awards.
Yeah.
Because they're nominated by, people within the music industry. They get asked to do it. But then for the actual winner, it goes to a public vote, which seems to me like it's the biggest band wins,
I was in the SAMAs with Siobhan Wilson.
Yeah.
Callum Beattie, who I'm now doing like a bunch of session work with.
He just played in Mash House, did he?
Yeah.
You support that guy, did
I
you?
support him, and I'm like, his keys playing now sometimes as well.
Oh, right.
So it's
Nice.
It all comes round. But so Siobhan Wilson, Callum and Lewis Capaldi.
Lewis Capaldi won it, didn't he?
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, that was like when he was.
I remember looking back like past winners from the last few years.
I still look at that photo and I'm like, oh, that was nice. That was a nice night to be in. See my face beside his.
How was he then? Was he?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
No, I think he was in the States or something. He was like, that was him about to pop, you know.
Yeah. I was speaking to someone about that recently. When did he first start to like kick off? Because I remember him doing Barras last December, November,
and then he's doing Usher Hall in a couple of weeks, isn't he?
Yeah, but it still feels very quick.
It was so quick. I think it's a fascinating look at how much the industry's changed, and
I think it says quite a lot about 2019 as well.
Yeah,
in the sense that it's someone who, although has a very powerful voice and an insanely good, talented songwriting singer, basically made it through posting videos on Instagram that people related to and found hilarious.
When he released his album, I remember reading reviews, and like some of the first few lines were internet sensation or social media star. I was like, but I thought he was a singer-songwriter. It's very interesting to see that a musician now is so much more than just the music.
Yeah, you've
got
to be a personality, really, almost.
Yeah, like he could have his own TV show, you know.
He could have.
He probably will.
He will undoubtedly end up getting his
2020.
own TV show.
It'll be something in the works, I'm sure.
A Netflix special, 6 parts.
You've called it. You've called it.
He's broke America now as well. When did that kind of came? That feels more recent.
That was about a month ago, I think, because he'd been number one for like 3. I don't know if he's still number one.
I feel like it was over. Somebody kind of started to hit it over there.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's like it's great for Scotland as well.
Yeah, it highlights a lot of the talent
it does, and it shows that, especially if he's got like sport bands. I think that's not so supporting Jerry Cinnamon, aren't they?
He had the Snuts support him, didn't he?
I think he did. I'm sure he did.
I know Luke LaVolpe supported him, who I'm quite a big fan of.
Who?
Stuff. Luke LaVolpe.
Oh yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he is cool.
He's got kind of it's almost like a Sinatra kind of inflected.
Nice, love that
vocal type thing going on, which is.
And it's cool that if Capaldi's having these guys and putting like.
Yeah, we stuck in the Velvet on the Prince's Street Garden as well.
It's great. I mean,
it's what you need. Someone kind of.
And he's able to do that now with this platform, and rightly so, because there's a lot of good music in Scotland.
It is mental at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I feel like more so than ever. It's just really there's lots happening.
I'm interested to see, like band wise. I'm trying to think who's kind of broken out recently. It doesn't feel like a band is quite hit yet. It's more been kind of Jerry Cinnamon's hit, obviously Capaldi's hit. Snuts are probably gonna hit within the next couple of years. They're massive here, but like I feel like, as in terms of being a band that'll play 2,000 cat venues up and down the country.
Fingers crossed. I really like them. The Jerry Cinnamon thing, like the Hampden, that's just insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. I couldn't believe that. 4 hours. Well, no, actually I could, but again, it's great. I mean, it's not my style of music at all.
Jerry Cinnamon's Jerry Cinnamon. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
But from a same sort of Capaldi, from a homegrown, and he's really homegrown. He proper started on his own.
Did you see the video of him the other night?
Oh, was
chasing the guy that took the ball.
God, that's just I saw that.
Dave Reed set up a Facebook event.
Yeah, I saw that too. And he was like, I can't believe how much response this has got.
I remember seeing that. I was like, the fifth response or something. And I thought this is the type of thing that'll just hit.
It's really funny.
Yeah,
but amazing. Again, he's putting Snuts and DMAs on.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of DMAs. Saw them at Liam Gallagher a few weeks back. Just very talented live performers. Great. They've got music that translates really well from live to recorded. It can kind of traverse both. Sometimes you get bands that are good live, sometimes you get ones that are good recorded. But
I need to try catching
both. Yeah, definitely worth seeing live.
Sweet.
But yeah, taking it back to the Singer Songwriter Award, which we kind of we went on a tangent away from.
Yeah, this is it though. These are the podcasts,
Yeah, you gotta go on a tangent now and again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Singer Songwriter.
I wanted to ask about the show itself, because I saw the video of you performing the 2 songs. How was that?
How was that?
Because you looked quite calm and collected.
Yeah. I was, man. I was really excited. I'd played St. Luke's before for an Ignite showcase, but of course a very different setting for the BBC. They had these cameras, the lights on. It just was so professional. Grand piano on the stage.
It's filmed really well.
Filmed so well. It sounds amazing. It's live, being live radio. That's obviously quite.
Did that go out live?
I don't know actually. I think.
Or did it go out on the radio as a
Maybe it
program?
just got.
I don't know. That was a genuine.
I think it was live.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, it was live on radio. I think. Because I had a few pals listen to it, and it was great. It was just such a nice night. And yeah, I got a photo with Ricky Ross from one of my favourite bands, Deacon Blue. So that was cool.
I've seen them live before.
Yeah,
they're playing. They're doing a stadium tour in Scotland next year.
Playing.
Because I know they're doing the P&J.
And they're Usher Hall. Playing Usher Hall.
That's quite a big jump.
Aye.
P&J is 12,500.
I know, and then Usher Hall. I didn't quite understand that either.
They sold Usher Hall out.
Have they?
I'm asking. They must.
I don't know.
Shoot.
I think I've got tickets. I think I'm going to go see them. I saw them at the Castle a couple of years ago. They were amazing. Just great songs.
Is that in Linlithgow?
Nah, Edinburgh Castle.
All right, I seen them in Linlithgow Castle.
Oh, I've done that's a castle tour.
Yeah,
How very
they
Scottish.
must enjoy their castle.
Yeah, but it's just a awesome night. And again, as you said, it's filmed so well, so it's good to have that to show people.
And it's on iPlayer.
Yeah, it's on iPlayer.
So
Which
go
is
and
nice.
check it out now.
Gus Harrower on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer.
Got a bit Irish there for a moment.
I did. Go and check out Gus Harrower on BBC iPlayer.
What other artists are you listening to in the Scottish scene at the moment?
Who I'm listening to? I'm gonna get my phone out and have a look at my Spotify and see what I've been on the Scottish scene. So I'm at uni with a bunch of artists.
Who all plays in your band? Because all your band have.
Yeah, they've all got their
band.
different projects. So I'm gonna name check them all. So on the drums, on the old pots and pans, we've got Magnus Krammers, who plays in a band called Ill-Fitting Thoughts.
That's a good name for a band.
It is. You should tell them that because I think they want to change it. So Ill-Fitting Thoughts with my guitarist Connell Mooney, who's been a best friend for years. So Magnus and Connell in the band together. Then on the bass we've got Erin Carroll, who is the sort of founder of Error 404 Club Nights, and she puts stuff on in like Glasgow and Edinburgh.
They do do they do fashion and stuff as well?
I don't know.
Or maybe they do t-shirts. I think
They've got some t-shirts coming out. She's awesome, great bassist and great gal. She's good fun. And her club nights are amazing, man. She's blown up. She's doing so well. It's really cool to see taking over Edinburgh and Glasgow, which is nice. It's like mad electronic music though. It's pretty heavy. I don't think she'll mind me saying that. And then I got Robin Smith on sort of acoustic guitar and backing vocals, and she's got her own project called RAB, RAAB, which is country rock, blues, Americana stuff, and I play keys in that band as well. Check out the single on Spotify.
How many bands do you play in? I feel there's been a few that have been.
I do just a wee session stuff, but Our Flight on Spotify, that is Rab's single, and then finally the newest addition to the band, Dexter Fawcett on the keys from the 101.
God, Dexter was playing in your band.
Yeah, good old Dexy on the from the 101.
Dexter.
Saw him at Sigurd last night. And yeah, so it's a nice wee band. They're very good.
Got a nice collection of different.
Yeah, different styles, and because everyone else likes different stuff,
it probably works quite well.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good, and you're a workman is only as good as his tools, and thankfully mine are.
You got some alright tools. You got some alright tools in that band.
Got the tools. Oh, that's a big tangent. I don't know what I'm doing now.
Scottish artist. That's what we're going for, wasn't it?
Scottish artist.
You said you were going to get your phone out and off at the spot.
Oh yes. Oh, I did. Yes, I was saying that. So I'm at uni. So apart from all those guys in the band, I'm loving Matthew Alexander's single.
I've not heard him.
He is a new artist. He is from Kilmarnock.
Is that farthest not from Kilmarnock?
It's Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm double checking. But I don't know. I'm fancying Kilmarnock based, are they? Or from there.
I feel like now that I've said that, I'm starting to doubt myself. But I
hey,
feel
don't
like,
let me doubt you. I'm not sure.
Like Fatherson might have been.
I feel like you'll be clued up on this more.
We're Fatherson Motherwell.
Oh, tricky. La Fontaine's are Motherwell, I think. They're definitely Motherwell. I know that. But
I quite like the La Fontaines. They're a band that do some. They're interesting.
I like them.
I saw them live actually, Lemon Tree in Aberdeen back in June, and he's an incredibly charismatic frontman on stage. And the way he got that crowd going,
yeah,
I've not seen many others like that.
He's also, I did that when I did Hit the Road a few years ago. They put on a couple of writing workshops before it, and Carol was one of the guys that came and wrote with us. And it was all, he's a great guy. lovely dude.
How was he songwriting wise then? Because he's obviously writing for rap. How
Yeah,
does
he's
that
writing a
kinda
lot.
differ?
So it's lyric based. I can't remember totally what we did with him, but really cool. And we just played a bunch of songs with each other. And that was good fun. That was a few years ago now. But Scottish artist. So Matthew Alexander's just released a new single, which is banging. And on that song, singing, doing vocals is Berta Kennedy, who's supporting me at the Biscuit Factory. Not supporting, playing as well at the Biscuit Factory. And she's awesome. She's got some cool songs out at the moment. I'm on a course with Alana Moore as well, who's a brilliant artist. She was just in New York she'd won the Quake competition. Quake, I think it was pronounced. Something to do with the Prince Street Gardens redo.
Oh, I saw this actually. Yeah, was it? There was like female solo artists.
Yeah, so she was over in New York doing a few tunes with like Alan Cumming and Katie Tunstall. Yes,
very nice,
very cool. She's released a new single. My good friend Slester, Desmond Johnson, his band is Slester. Amazing, like rap mixed with rock. They're so cool. And he's got an album out, if I'm right.
An album?
Yeah, he's got an album out, and has he got an album? He's got an album on SoundCloud, but he's got a single on Spotify, and it's great. He's a really cool artist, so you should check out him. That's what I'm listening to.
You out to quite a lot of gigs and stuff, or do you just...
Do you know what? I should be more into gigs, especially small gigs. I went to the Hit the Road gig the other night at Sneaky Pete's with Hector Shaw, Kate Kyle, and Sophie Penman. And that was awesome. That was such a cool gig. Amazing lineup, and they were just all so good. And I loved it. And then I sort of realised I need to do that more. Go to more shows.
Yeah.
I was at Sigurd last night, but again, it's quite bigger. It's a bigger gig.
I think like about Edinburgh, there's quite a lot of good. Like if you go to a Sneaky Singer on a weeknight, pretty much every week, a couple of weeknights, you've got a local artist doing a headline show.
Yeah,
Sneaky.
totally.
Because I was at Magpie Blue last
Yes.
week, really good, very good.
She's doing well.
She is. She's got some insane tunes.
She's not playing with Big Country.
She might be. She brought the Proclaimers, didn't
Yeah, that's cool.
she? Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. She lives up the road, I think.
Does she?
I believe so. That's really weird that I know that. I think I've just seen her kicking around Morningside.
I've walked past a few fucking Morningside actually. Yeah.
Hey, it's a
someone-
place to be, mate. Says nobody ever.
Nah, Morningside's a bit.
I think you come here to retire.
Ooh, that's a.
Is that
I don't
is that
know.
harsh to say?
I don't know how I feel. I'm not the biggest fan of Morningside.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm born and raised. It's fine, but it's a certain community.
Yeah, it's.
That's all I'll say.
I was in Marquis this morning, and there was some.
In Marquis, oh, you are total Morningside day. That is, you've turned
Well,
full Morningside.
I was bringing mince pies to you today. I thought I'm not going to go to Tesco like I normally do and slum it. I'm going to come here. I'm going to get those. I'm going to get some proper mince pies.
Yeah, and they
Gonna
were
treat
lovely.
Gus with,
Man, you can taste that class. It was lovely.
to be honest, I think Tesco's are better. To be perfectly honest, I think I've ballsed up by try to be someone that I'm not. What other artists you discovered in 2019 out with Scotland? Because do you ever get that Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah,
That must be coming out soon.
I saw something about it. They tweeted or something the other day. I think you can see how much music you've listened to this year. But yeah, the rap thing that'll be coming out. I love that.
That's good.
What else? I'm going to see what's been on my repeat because that's quite good. I like this new one they're doing on repeat. You seen that?
Well, I'm gonna get mine out and have a. This is good.
Your phone, by the way. You're getting your phone out.
So for everyone who, you can't see it, it's two people taking out their phones on an audio medium and scrolling to this. Well, I have Coldplay's albums at the top. Infancy by the Ninth Wave. You know, I've listened to a lot lately actually.
What?
Calvin Harris's second album.
Oh, interesting. What one was it?
Ready for the Weekend.
Is that the artwork? Is that the one? Yeah, that was a good album.
Came out 10 years ago and still sounds like it could come out now.
I've been listening to, well, Bon Iver's new album. Probably my highlight.
I've never.
You've been sleeping on them.
I've never managed to.
I can understand. That's fair, and I don't know why. I don't know why I'm such a big. Fan
Everyone
of
I
them, 'cause
speak to seems to love. I know Dexter loves Bon Iver.
huge cult following, man. They're
I
great.
even think it's cult though. They're playing the Hydro. That's not.
That's true.
Not,
Yeah,
that's
not
really a
anymore.
cult following.
Not anymore. I mean, it definitely used to be.
Are they self-produced as well? No,
They're on. Are they still on Jaguar?
because I know Japanese House went over to his cabin
Really?
to do her album. I think.
Oh,
or
I
do parts
didn't know
of
that.
it.
That's cool.
Or it was either writing or recording. I can't remember.
I think he produces a lot of it with a couple others. There's a great article on Sound about like the new album, because it's just the aesthetic of it is so different to sort of anything that's out there. It's quite dirty and there's a lot of artifacts and it's really cool. I love it.
I have listened to some like This is Bon Iver. Is it a band or is it one guy? Because on Spotify it seems to be billed as one guy.
Yeah, well, Justin Vernon as this main guy, but I think it's a band now.
Yeah.
In videos and interviews, they've got band members.
All right.
I think his idea was that it's always just whoever he's working with is Bon Iver.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I feel like people are going to listen to this podcast and think, who is this uneducated clown?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a clue who Bon Iver are, or who Bon Iver is.
Well, it's like me with trying to talk about politics earlier. I mean, that didn't go very well.
We swayed away from that one quite
We
quickly.
did. I'm glad you did.
Do you ever get quite into like artists' histories and kind of into their backstory and quite obsessed and read a lot about them, or you kind of straight away from that?
That's a good question. I think if it's an interesting one, somebody like Justin Vernon is very interesting because he went through, I believe, like a huge breakup and recluded. Is that a word?
That's possible.
Went to a cabin in the woods.
He was a recluse.
Recluse, yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. And in the cabin in the woods with like a couple mics, Pro Tools, an iMac, and he just recorded his first album on his own. Put it up on, I think it was like MySpace, and it just got really big.
So when was the first album out?
Oh God, 08, 09?
That's not too long ago.
I might be making that up.
I suppose that's 10 years.
And still some of his biggest stuff. I think they re-released it for him.
Did they?
08 for him, Unforgivable, and he won a Grammy for it, I think.
What?
Yeah. He's been nominated for Record of the Year as well for this new one.
No. Oh, I did see some people.
Yeah, which
saying it was. Someone I was reading an interview with said it was one of their favourite albums of all time. It's the last one.
Gee, really? Wow. I mean, it's good. I don't think I would call it my favourite album of all time.
What would you say is your favourite album of all time? While we're on the subject.
Maybe, I will say maybe their second last album, 22 Million.
Yeah?
Loved that album, yeah.
When did that come out?
That came out in 2016, if I'm right. I remember I was going to uni, like one of the first lectures I had, and it came out on the Friday, and my lecture was like 10. On the way up to uni, I listened to the whole thing because it's quite short. He only ever does like sort of 10-track albums, and it was like half an hour long. I listened to the whole thing, and I just fell in love with it. It was like amazing. The stuff he did on it was so cool.
Short but very whole at the same time. Like it feels like an album.
Yeah, he's nailed an album. I think
he knows what an album is.
Totally, man. I just really like the stuff for any mood. I think that's the thing. He's got songs for any mood, and he says he's been saying the stuff for this last one. It was seasonal. So
what season?
This season was, I think, autumn. I think I was autumn. That
reminds me a bit of Coldplay's album where it's sunrise and sunset.
Yeah, I really need to listen to that. I'm going to do that when you go.
My thing with Coldplay is I love the first 3 albums. Everything after that is maybe got a couple songs on the album that I like, but I'm not the biggest fan of them as albums.
Okay.
And this is the first one since those first 3 albums that I'm like,
all of them.
Love this. This is good.
Really? Okay, cool.
Because it feels it's an album. Like there's a lot of It's interesting. They just go through quite a lot of genres on it, and I mean production wise, Coldplay. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of those albums in between, production wise, that was insane.
Aye.
Same with Kanye. Even with his new stuff that isn't as good, it's interesting, but it's.
I forgot about Kanye stuff that he released. I like that.
I preferred the gospel album, the new one, to the 2 albums that came.
What, Life of Pablo?
No, I like Life of Pablo, but it was the Kids See Ghosts and.
Do you not like? Oh, see,
there's not a Kanye album that I dislike.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last albums before it, Kids See Ghosts and what was the other one? Yay.
They
were both good.
Oh, it was like was that quite? That was a short album, wasn't it?
So it's a new one. New one's like 26 minutes, 28 minutes.
I really like The Life of Pablo.
That's a fascinating album.
It's pretty mad.
Especially towards its kind of tail end. It's very good.
I totally forgot he released stuff, actually. I think it was because, again, he said it was coming out and then it just didn't come out.
It came out later that day.
Yeah.
But it was because they tweaked it on the day. He went in and changed the...
It's amazing that it can be that quick, isn't it?
He kind of your Kanye.
Yeah, hey, good saying. Get it on a t-shirt.
You can if you're Kanye.
Can spelled with a K.
How long will that saying be accurate for?
Until he says something outrageous again.
He feels like someone who is almost uncancelable, though. He should have
been. Big statement.
He should have been cancelled for a lot of the stuff he said, and he's got through it, and I don't know how. Everyone sees the Instagram Sunday service thing. It's like, oh, he's amazing. He's a great artist, but he's a total fanny. He's a borderline terrible. Not even actually. No, he's not borderline terrible person. He is an awful person. He is a horrendous human being, but he's an incredible artist.
Yeah, I would go as far as say he's probably a genius in his musical.
But then I've spoken this before. How closely are genius and insanity linked?
Because
he seems to be riding that line.
I don't think we've got time for that one today.
I've only got a few left. don't worry, guys. What would you say fuels you creatively? When did you when you feel like you were first creative? Like in terms of you, was it always something that was there from a young age?
No, I think I started writing when I was 14, 15. Remember the first song I had to write was at my first gig I played at Cabval, supporting my cousin's band Acrylic, who are another great Scottish band. And I had a loop pedal and a guitar. I was trying to do the whole Ed Sheeran thing.
How did that work out?
Yeah, not very well. And I had to write a song for it, so I wrote my first song, and I think I just really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed writing, and it's a great outlet. But in terms of being creative, I think I've always tried to be a bit inventive even if I do covers and stuff, because I used to play covers all the time and just trying to make them a bit different. I think that's a creative thing. Apart from that, though, I mean, I can't draw. I'm not a very good cook, so things like that I'm not creative in. However, music I can be.
Wow,
that didn't really answer your question, did it?
Nah, but it's fine. You also got Biscuit Factory coming up as well.
Yes. Push this.
I thought we'll round off on the Biscuit Factory. Remind everyone, 14th December.
14th December, with special guests Teak and Berta Kennedy, and I've got a good friend coming at the start as well to do a few songs, but that's a secret. I'm really excited for that. We did it a few years ago, and it's an amazing space. You can kind of do what you want with it. So we're getting the stage, we're getting the sound, and lights, and just going to make it something a bit different.
Biggest show yet?
I don't know. Biggest. We'll see how many folk turn up, and then decide. But in terms of production, yeah, it can be, because I think I could have done a show at the Mash or something, and a great venue. I feel like you can only do so much with it, and if you kind of want to get shy away from things like curfews and
you do have that horrible
direct stage times, and
so is the Biscuit Factory quite flexible? So
it's basically like my venue for the day. I can kind of do what I want with it, which is great. So we're gonna have fireworks and pyrotechnics
indoors,
sparklers. Yeah, it's gonna be great. But yeah, things like getting the lights in, that's gonna be fun, because I've got a great friend Charlie doing the lights, and he's just make it look cool and something a bit different.
Stage production, it's just does so much. I saw Jaws the other night at the Mash House.
What do they do?
Kit that they bring with them, just their lighting setup is just insane. They have a massive, almost like a neon sign behind them, but I mean huge, like the wall there. Not very good for podcasting, but the wall there, from at the top of the camera to the bottom of there, probably about 2 meters maybe.
Describe to the listeners,
2 meters, metre and a half. It's that tall sign that says Jaws.
That's cool.
Massive behind them on the stage, fills the whole length of the stage.
Nice.
And then they have these things that light reflected off of, almost like cubes. Made up of individual cubes, and all the lights reflect. It was insane. And another one, Manamoon, or another band who have got an incredible live setup.
They've got the visuals and stuff, don't they?
It just adds so much to their music.
Yeah, it does. It works. I'm actually doing an acoustic show in the studio, the studio at Potter Row in February. So I'm going to do like an acoustic set and then a band set. It's going to be like a nice sit down, classy affair. But I'm going to try to do some visuals and things there, just to try and make it a bit more interesting. But Biscuit Factory 14th. Get your tickets at GusHarrower.com.
We'll round off. We'll take it back to near enough the start.
Okay.
To finish up.
Oh, nice, full circle.
Favourite Elton John song. I should have said favourite Coldplay song. That would have been more full circle, but favourite Elton John song, because we spoke about him like 10 minutes in.
Favourite Elton John song. Man, I think for me, it's probably Benny and the Jets.
Can't go wrong with Benny and the Jets.
I do like Benny and the Jets. Rocket Man's good as well, though. Right, I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to say Benny and the Jets.
You know what? Go Rocket Man, because that's the one that everyone knows.
Come on. Yeah.
Benny and the Jets.
Benny and the Jets, good Saturday night song.
Saturday night's alright for fighting with.
Yeah, well, okay.
That's a pretty good
Friday night song.
Benny and the Jets is a song for any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Yes, I agree.
Just like Gus Harrower's music. There
Good,
we go.
nailed it. That's a good
There
ending.
we go.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much, Gus, for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
It was a
man.
nice chat. I enjoyed
That was
that.
good fun. Time flies when you're having fun.
I know. We've done an hour.
We should have had another mince pie.
Do you want to have another mince pie?
Let's do it.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye.